Today I want to make some quilted fabric so that I can make a little purse later, and I am going to make that quilted fabric in the hoop. So what I'm going to do is go down into the Create module of Premiere Plus, and it's going to open up, and I'm going to start a new design with no picture. We can just say next here on the background type, and I'm going to have to think about what size I want my fabric to be, and I know that I'm going to quilt this in the 260 by 360 hoop, so I'm going to enter my design size, and I'm going to say 240 by, let's do 340. That way when I go to export it, I can change, it will export into the right 260 by 360 hoop, and it won't give me an error that I can't export it. I'm going to say finish here. There's my hoop. And from here, I'm going to go into Precise Create. And I'm going to think about how I want my quilted fabric to look. I do not want a pattern fill, so I'm going to click on the top of the box. And I don't want a satin line. I probably want a running or a double stitch. I'm going to choose running stitch. And then I need to think about what kind of stitch I want to use. So, and I'm going to back up one section. I don't want a running stitch. I want some decoration. I'm going to go down to motif. And now I need to figure out what kind of motif I want. And there are gazillions of them. So we have the universals and all of these. And we could say, I would like seasonal. And maybe I want hearts. And here is where you need to play, and play a lot. If you change the height and the width and the gaps, the gap would be how far between each of those hearts, how big the hearts are. If you can set them up, I like to make them as big as I possibly can. So I will set those numbers as high as they will go. And minimum gap is okay. I'm going to leave that as is for now, just to see what it is, what it's going to look like. And I'm going to say okay. And then all I'm going to do here is do create line. And I'm going to, and here again, I'm going to come just inside, and then I'm going to do another click down here at the bottom. And that's going to make a diagonal line. And if I right click, it puts my hearts there. And I can go over a little bit. And if it doesn't look like it's quite right, you can always left click and drag till it looks like it's parallel, and let go and right click, and you have your row of hearts again. And again. And I'm going to go over to the other side. And remember that as you are doing these lines, it's going to stitch out exactly as you place those lines. So if you want to say, okay, I'm going to add a fourth line here. If I want to start with this line and do this line and this line and this line, I need to take this line over here on the film strip and left click and hold and move it up to the very top. And that way it'll stitch this line, then this line, this line, and this line. Okay, so I'm hoping that you kind of understand where I'm going with this. You can do any design. You can change the sizes. You can create different patterns using this way. If you don't like the curves on the corner, if you hold the control button down as you click on the corner, it will make a 90-degree corner for you instead of the curve. Okay, so basically that's what I'd be doing. And of course this one is not going to fit into the hoop, but I'm just kind of showing you what you can do with create liner area. So isn't that cool? Now we're going to do a file. We're going to save the EDO file just because we can, and it might be something we might want to go back into later. And then we're going to do a file export. Now, if I do the file export right now, it's probably going to error and say the embroidery is too large, will not fit in the hoop. Okay, and that's why the original design I made a whole lot smaller than the hoop that I was going to use. So you can go up here and do change hoop, or you can notice that it has a shortcut in parentheses. If you hold down the CTRL key and the H at the same time, that will automatically bring the hoop up for you. And at this point, I'm going to change it from a 260 hoop to a 360 hoop. And I can see that this line right here is still not going to fit. So I'm just going to delete that for now. And again, I'm going to save it. And I've already saved it once, so it'll just save over what the first file was. And now I'm going to export embroidery, and it comes up without an error. And I can call it Hearts Exported. And then I can open up my Premiere. And go ahead and open it as a VP3 file. And I can stitch it out and use it for whatever I want. Okay, thanks.